Do you want to know what has been going on in the real estate market here in Southwest Florida and throughout the state of Florida? That's what we're talking about on this video. I'm Rob Wozner, a local realtor right here in Southwest Florida. If it's your first time on my channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, working, playing, and the real estate market, this is the channel you need to subscribe to. So hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. The July report shows a soft summer for home sales here in Naples, Florida. Closed sales of properties in Naples during June and July declined compared to the same months back in 2023. Overall closed sales during July decreased 2.6% to 608 closed sales from 624 closed sales back in July of 23. Furthermore, pending sales activity reported for July decreased 15.7%. And after reviewing the report, I believe we can expect similar closed sales performance for the August month. Now let's bring things into perspective. We can't expect every year to be a record breaker. Overall, the first half of 2024 has been average for sales. We still have buyers who want to be here, and new listings have remained strong, which provides even more options for buyers looking to purchase this summer. Chasing yesterday's wave, I've been comparing NABOR's data from 2019 to the data reported in 2024, pointing to the fact that 2019 was the last year when our housing market was, quote, normal, which means pre-pandemic. If we compare year-to-date 2024 market results to 2019, sales are actually down 16%. For July, we are down 29% compared to July of 2019. Let's take a look statewide. You'll recall that closed sales were down a fair amount year over year back in June. But you may also remember there was a sizable amount of pending inventory at the end of June, particularly in the single family category. So, did our pending inventory yield enough closings in July for us to see a big rebound? The answer is yes. Statewide, single family home sales in July were up 5.2% compared to a year ago. Now, granted, that might not be enough to offset the decline in June, but we'll take it. As for the townhouse and condo category, we came in a little bit short. But let's face it, July's 1.2% year-over-year decline in closed townhouse and condo sales is far more preferable than that 20% drop we had back in June. So what's going on nationally? Let's look at the NAR, or the National Association of Realtors. Citing affordability issues, NAR reported contract signings declined in all 4 U.S. regions month over month, while pending sales were down 8.5% year over year. Pending home sales in July retreated 5.5% according to the National Association of Realtors. All 4 regions posted monthly losses in transactions. Year over year, the Northeast rose, while the Midwest, the South, and the West registered decline. Let's take a look at the pending home sales index, which is a forward-looking indicator of home sales based on contract signings. And that slipped to 70.2 in July. That's the lowest reading since the index began tracking since 2001. Year over year, pending transactions were down 8.5%. An index of 100 is equal to the level of contract activity in 2001. Here in Southwest Florida, we borrowed sales from the future during the pandemic. The mad rush to relocate here to Southwest Florida during the pandemic set a wave in motion based on the temporary increase in demand. Naturally, in response, prices began to increase as inventory vanished, down to 1,042 homes of inventory back in December of 21. But this rush was short-lived, and many sellers have been slow to adapt to the new reality. Overall inventory has been climbing for the last 28 months. For July, inventory increased 50.5% to 4,352 properties, and that's up from 2,892 properties back in July of 23. There are 6.2 months of inventory available, and that's up 59% from 2.9 in July of 2023. Conversely, overall closed sales have been declining since 2021, or for the past 36 months ago. Inventory levels have returned to a more historically normal levels, yet well above where we were the last couple of years. With the additional competition for sellers, too many still expect to receive aspirational prices when we have fewer buyers seeking greater values. Over on the supply side of things within the state of Florida, New listings of single-family homes remained in line with what we would have expected in the pre-pandemic market, but there were almost 11% more listings this July compared to last year's unusually low count. Meanwhile, nearly 14% more townhouses and condos came into the market in July compared to a year ago. The inventory of single-family homes continues to rise, but over the last 3 months, this growth has slowed as much as each month has passed. I'd caution, however, that this slowdown may be in part just to the seasonal effect. Notice that from 2014 through 2019, statewide single-family inventory levels generally decline in the summer months, with 2018 as with one exception that we really had. Remember that in 2018 we saw 5% mortgage rates. That sure seemed high back then, but right now a lot of people would take that 5% rate. Let's take a look over in the condo and townhouse category. Inventory levels are now above where they were during the 2014 to 2019 pre-pandemic post-Great Recession period. However, month-over-month inventory growth has really flattened over the past 2 to 3 months. Plus, everything is just relative. The current statewide level of condo inventory still does not come close to where we were coming out of the Great Recession. On average, home values in Naples have increased 50% since 2019, due in large part to buying frenzy during the pandemic. But it's over. Inventory has increased substantially, and sellers need to heed their realtor's recommendation to price their homes competitively for today's market. Factors such as high interest rates, high insurance premiums are creating financing obstacles for a large number of buyers. Additionally, the number of cash sale transactions has actually decreased to 51.9% in July, compared to 61.2% back a year ago. Prices are coming down incrementally, not significantly. But there's an indication in the July report that more negotiations are taking place in both the low and high-end price points of the market. The percent of list price received in July decreased 1.4% to 94.8%, and that's down from 96.1% in July of 2023. Here in Naples, Florida, the median close price during both June and July decreased 0.8%. In July, the overall median close price was $590,000 compared to $595,000 in July of 23. For both summer months, reductions in the median close price of single-family homes drove the overall median close price to decrease. Conversely, the median close price of condominiums increased in July and June. Clearly, we have enough inventory to keep prices from further increases of any significance for the time being. That's really been evident for the most of this year. In July, the median sale price for single-family home sales in Florida was about $417,000, and that's up 1% from a year ago. The median price in townhouse condo category, meanwhile, fell by 1.3% to $315,000. It's really important to keep in mind right now that we are starting to see markets in different parts of the state exhibit different behaviors, statistically speaking. Inventory has remained well below pre-pandemic levels in South Florida, but in many parts of the state, inventory levels are a fair amount higher. So, one of the best exercises you can do if you follow along with us each month is to check the statistics for your local market and see how it matches with the statewide figures. Here's something else we need to consider, that if interest rates come down too much, like say they go down to 5 to 5.5%, we will likely see a rise in home prices again. In my experience, we need to have at least 12 months of inventory before we see prices hold steady during rate drops. If you're a regular watcher of my YouTube channel, you'll notice that I always like to look at different areas in Naples and break down different things. So Naples has, what I can see, it has 2 distinct markets right now. There's plenty of inventory within 5 miles of the beach, but virtually none, almost zero inventory east of Collier Boulevard. The rate of growth in the Golden Gate estates in and around Ave Maria right now is absolutely unreal. It also looks like there are less motivated sellers in Naples when I track inventory levels throughout Naples. I am seeing behavior that is reminiscent of 30 years ago when people listed their homes during the winter season, and if it didn't sell, they just canceled the contract before the summer. For instance, like if you look at Aqua Lane Shores, It has 3.5 years of inventory in January of 24, but in July, it had 1.6 years of supply. This drop is not due to sales because we see a large number of the same properties being re-added to the market each winter. But this behavior is not occurring in Golden Gate Estates, where demand is definitely outpacing supply. Sellers, you should be forewarned. If you are attempting to time the market because you believe you can get a higher price for your home when more buyers are predicted to be in town during the winter season, you may regret your decision. More inventory will require sellers price homes more competitively and entertain more buyer negotiations. The specter of declining interest rates cuts both ways. If buyers wait until interest rates drop, prices may likely increase. Likewise, if a seller waits to list a home during the winter season, like a lot of people think they should, the added competition will put downward pressure on the price. Once again, thank you guys for watching my monthly market update video. Please let me know in the comments what you think about the real estate market right here in Southwest Florida or throughout the state of Florida. If you want more information about anything down here in Southwest Florida, you need to take the first step. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to get in touch with me. I have the systems and processes to make this transaction as smooth and easy as possible. I have your back when buying or selling property right here, Southwest Florida, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.